as you mentioned, from Mary mode, you diverted your attention to like an international audience. Right now, Xoxzo has like a lot of use cases like 2FA, customer notifications, managing traffic at distribution centers. So, what was the initial use case or the problem that you were trying to solve? And like, how has that evolved since 2007 to now?
In 2007, when I released the first product for Marimo, it was called Maritex. And Maritex was actually something which I wanted to have because I had this problem of sending SMS to my family and friends overseas. In 2007, I'm not sure whether you can believe this or not, the Japanese mobile carriers do not have SMS service. Well, they do, but SMS service here means you just put in your phone number, right, to the recipient that you want to send to, then you send, then they receive that. Just like you will, think it will work in India or Malaysia, but they didn't have that. They only have SMS if you were on the same carrier. Like you can only send to a number which is also, if you're Docomo, then only send to Docomo. Obviously, just from the number, you wouldn't know whether someone is on the same carrier as you. So SMS didn't take off because it's not usable. What they had, in fact, was actually email addresses. So everyone who signs up to a carrier, when you have an account with the carrier, you get an email address. So it would be like @Docomo NEJP or easyweb.nejp or SoftBank. Or I think they had Vodafone at the time. SoftBank wasn't there yet, so it was Vodafone. Of all these four major carriers, only two had the ability to send SMS overseas. So it was SoftBank, it was Docomo. And SoftBank charges you 100 yen per message to send overseas. Docomo charges you 50 yen per message to send to an overseas number. And you can imagine 100 yen a pop to just say good morning, how are you? That's already 200 yen. I'm fine, thanks. That's 300 yen, right? So to me, it doesn't make sense because, I had friends, I had families overseas, not only in Malaysia, all over Southeast Asia, in the US even. So I need a much more economical and easier way to actually communicate with them. We didn't have WhatsApp or what else, Line. So the first product was Maritex, which tries to translate the email address to an SMS and vice versa, and also receives SMS. So that was the first product. It was consumer to consumer, I guess. People could just log in, put in their mobile number, purchase points using PayPal. It was PayPal at the time. I can't imagine how I lived with PayPal for payment processing. But yeah, and the server itself was in my kitchen. It was fun time. So there was all these small little pieces that I need to figure out. It's not something that you put on AWS and then run. Then you can put everything there, change your instances, and we didn't have all that. So that was the start of it. And then actually, it was only something which was supposed to solve my problem. But when I told some friends about it, they say, hey, let me use that. I also want to use your service. And then I just started to realize, okay, this might be something people want. So why not? And that's when I put all the PayPal and allow you to register and stuff. So that started, and then after a few years, people start using it. People that I don't know, and then after a few more years, then companies started to come to me and ask, do you have an API for this? Because we want to, contact our customers, which we only have their phone numbers. Then I realized, okay, maybe that's something that is usable. So that's when easysms.b started. And then that continued on from C to C, people trying to communicate with their friends and families. And then turns out to an API for customers who wants to send out marketing. And then at that time, we did not have authentication. I mean, use cases as authentication wasn't there. But then Twilio came up in the US, and then I think one of the biggest use cases for Twilio at that time was authentication. That's when authentication also took off. It's communications anyway, and at the bottom of it is just text, right? And maybe a phone call. We don't do a lot of phone calls, though. Mostly it's SMS. It's just text, and it can be anything. It can be a system. Some of our customers use that as a method of tracking action taken by customers, right? They send, and then they put a link there, and then you click on it. Okay, then you know that this customer is reacting towards a particular sale, for example, those kind of things. So it has evolved in many ways, as you mentioned.